In today's episode, we're entering one of the most important stages of the PlaNiFul framework, your personal strategy. You'll learn how to set a clear direction for your life, define what truly matters, and turn long-term aspirations into a meaningful roadmap. Let's set your compass and begin.
Your personal strategy. This is where everything begins, because before you plan your tasks, before you define your quarterly goals, before you even decide what to prioritize tomorrow, you need direction. Not just any direction, but one that's deeply aligned with who you are and where you want to go.
As Sun Tzu once said, strategy without tactics is the slowest route to victory. Tactics without strategy is the noise before defeat. Think of your personal strategy as your life compass. It's not just a collection of dreams or vague ideas. It's a structured, intentional roadmap rooted in your values and long-term aspirations.
You might already be successful on the outside, a good job, decent income, stable life, and yet something feels off. There's that lingering sense of, is this really it? That feeling often comes from drifting, from following systems designed by others rather than one built around your own meaning. A personal strategy helps you break the drift. It brings clarity. It helps you say yes to what matters and no to what doesn't. Your personal strategy isn't for the next week or even just this year. It's a long-term guide, usually designed to cover around 3 years or more. Why 3 years? Because it's enough time to aim high and make real progress, but close enough to feel actionable and grounded. Now, that doesn't mean you throw it away after 3 years. Think of it more like a tree. You revisit it, prune it, strengthen it. Every year or so, come back and refine it.
According to the PlaNiFul framework, your personal strategy should include the following elements: reflection questions, vision statement, life concept, inspiration sources, strategic directions, optional resource estimates, and finally, your strategy document. Let us go through them one by one.
To create this strategy, we start by looking within. Ask yourself, what areas of my life feel deeply aligned and which feel disconnected? What are my most important values? Not the ones I inherited or absorbed, but the ones I choose. And if I keep going the way I am now, where will it lead me?
In the full version of this method, there's a guided questionnaire that helps you score your satisfaction across life areas, from purpose and learning to relationships and finances. We invite you to discover it in the book Planning for Life. Master Your Time, Achieve Your Goals by Oleg Malashenko.
So, these simple questions give you a baseline, a simple way to see what's working and what might need change. But the real insight comes from reflection. We don't just want data, we want meaning. So you'll explore deeper questions like, what's my ideal future in 3 years? What kind of person do I want to become? What challenges keep holding me back? What habits need to evolve? There are no right answers, just your answers, and they're the only ones that matter. Once you've done that deep work of reflection and assessment, it's time to give it structure. Let's translate your insights into something solid, something you can build your life around. We'll start with 2 key elements, your vision statement and your life concept. Your vision statement is a short, powerful declaration of where you want to go and who you want to become. It's not a checklist, it's not a to-do list, it's a guiding light, something you can return to when things get noisy.
Let me give you an example. Jessica is a contemporary artist working at the intersection of creativity and social change. Here's her vision statement. I want to be a visionary artist who uses my creativity to inspire social change and celebrate cultural diversity. I aspire to create art that challenges perspectives, empowers communities, and leaves a lasting positive impact on the world.
That's it, 1 or 2 sentences, but deeply meaningful. It speaks to purpose, values, and long-term aspiration. And if you're wondering, What if I'm not ready to write mine yet? That's okay. You can come back to it later, after the rest of your strategy is clearer. And yes, if your financial goals are a big driver, you can keep them in mind. Just remember, your vision should reflect who you want to be, not just what you want to have. Now, let's go deeper. This is where your vision comes to life. Your life concept is a narrative. It's not polished. It's not perfect. It's simply you describing the kind of life you want to live. Ask yourself, what does a meaningful day look like? Who do I spend time with? What kind of work energizes me? How do I grow? And how do I give?
Back to Jessica. Here's an example of her life concept. My ideal life is a vibrant canvas, where every brushstroke reflects my passion for art and my commitment to driving social change. I envision a future in which my creative work not only captures the beauty of cultural diversity, but also challenges conventional perspectives and inspires transformative dialogue. I see myself as an artist who uses colour, form, and imagination to shine a light on social injustices, provoke thoughtful conversations, and bring communities together. In this envisioned life, my art is the heartbeat of my existence. I strive to create pieces that resonate deeply, whether displayed in galleries or public spaces, each work telling a story of resilience, hope, and the power of collective identity. I aspire to collaborate with fellow artists, activists, and cultural leaders, nurturing relationships that enrich my creative practice and empower me to explore new techniques and ideas. Continuous learning and experimentation are at the core of my journey. I challenge myself to blend traditional methods with contemporary influences, ensuring that my work remains innovative and impactful. Beyond my artistic endeavours, I am committed to building a fulfilling personal life. I dream of maintaining strong, supportive relationships with family, friends, and mentors who share my values and encourage my growth. I embrace a lifestyle that balances creative expression with personal well-being, finding inspiration in everyday moments, whether through quiet reflection or dynamic collaboration. Ultimately, my life concept is a story of artistic exploration and meaningful impact. It is a journey where creativity meets purpose and where every piece of art contributes to a broader movement for social justice and cultural celebration. This narrative fuels my determination to continuously evolve, learn, and use my art to contribute to a more flourishing and inspired world.
So, your life concept isn't a pitch, it's a story, your story. Not a fantasy, but a compass, written in your words, in your tone. Next, we capture your sources of inspiration, the people, books, ideas, or places that lift you up. These aren't just references, they're anchors. When motivation fades or life gets messy, these are the things you return to. They remind you who you are and why you started. This step is optional, but highly recommended, because when your vision feels distant, inspiration keeps it alive.
Let me give you a few examples. Jessica, the artist we mentioned earlier, finds inspiration in Leonardo da Vinci for his creative brilliance, Frida Kahlo for her honesty and resilience, a local cultural space where she connects with other artists.
In your case, it could be a book that shifted your worldview, a mentor you admire, a quiet park bench, or a museum that always clears your mind. Keep it personal. Keep it simple. It doesn't have to impress anyone. It just has to work for you. Capture your list. Revisit it often. It's a quiet but powerful part of your strategy. And now, we arrive at another fundamental part of your personal strategy, your strategic directions. Think of this as the big guiding categories of your life. They're not goals, they're not tasks, they're domains of focus, the essential pillars that support everything you plan and do. Every objective, every KPI, every task you'll set later will be anchored to one of these strategic directions. This is what gives your system structure, coherence, and clarity, even as your life evolves. Let's start with a few default examples. Career development, not just your job, but your growth, positioning, and financial stability. Health and wellness, the foundation for energy, creativity, and long-term success. Family and relationships, nurturing the people and bonds that give your life depth and meaning. But you're not limited to those. Your directions should reflect you, your passions, your context, your goals. You might include creative exploration, spiritual growth, lifelong learning, community contribution, cultural immersion. What matters is that these directions represent the real themes of your life, the areas you're committed to growing and honoring over the next few years. And here's the key: keep your list focused. 5 to 10 directions is ideal. More than that, and things get scattered. Fewer, and you risk overlooking something important.
Let me give you a few examples from Jessica, the artist we've been following. She has one strategic direction called art and social change. This is where she anchors her goals around creating work that challenges norms and sparks dialogue. She also has Renaissance art techniques, purely for personal fulfillment and craft mastery. It's not about money. It's about joy and skill. Then there's health and wellness. She walks, jogs, and avoids alcohol to stay mentally sharp and inspired. And literary exploration, where she reads classic French and Italian texts, not for work, but for cultural and intellectual depth.
Each direction is unique, each one matters, and together they form a complete, well-balanced map of her ideal life. Now, for those who enjoy structure, you can go one step further. You can roughly estimate the resources you'll need for each direction: time, money, energy, support. You don't have to be precise. But a little awareness here goes a long way. It helps you avoid burnout, stay realistic, and make better trade-offs down the line.
For example, Jessica allocates 30 to 40 hours a week across her directions, with around 15 of those focused purely on creative practice. She invests part of her income in materials, masterclasses, and travel. She sets aside time each week for fitness and one full weekend a month for personal connections.
You don't need to copy that, but it's a good illustration. You decide what's sustainable for you. So as you define your own directions, take your time, group similar activities together, give each direction a clear personal meaning, make sure they reflect both your aspirations and your reality. These strategic directions will become the scaffolding for everything that follows, from long-term goals to quarterly priorities to daily tasks. They're not just categories, they're the shape of your life. Once you've done all this, compile everything into a single document, which will become the final version of your personal strategy. No need to get fancy, just clear and complete. To recap, you'll include your vision statement, your life concept, your inspiration sources, optional but highly recommended, your strategic directions, and optionally your top-level resource, estimates. This is not a file you create and forget. This is a living document, something you revisit, refine, and rely on as your life evolves.
So, here's the takeaway. A personal strategy isn't about control. It's about alignment. It's not about squeezing more into your day. It's about making space for what matters. It's not a rigid plan, it's a flexible compass. When you know where you're going and why, every action gains meaning. And even when the road is uncertain, your inner direction stays strong. In the next episode, we'll look at how to connect this strategy with long-term planning, defining specific objectives that turn your vision into action. Until then, take time for reflection, set your compass, and begin walking your path with intention.